Christmas. My connection is pretty poor today. But you can see I'm dressed a little differently, and there's a Christmas tree behind me. They had a beautiful program this morning, and I did a little different kind of sermon, more like a story than a sermon. You know, when we greet each other at Christmas, we say Merry Christmas. And the practice, according to all the research I've done, began in 1534. So it's been around for a while. But that was at a time when the word merry really meant joy and happiness. In today's language, merry is more about, it's more flighty, it's less weighty, it's more about just having fun. But we forget that the first Christmas, there was nothing fun about it at all. It was a time of pain, it was a time of sacrifice, it was a time of people having to do what they never thought they would have to do, and didn't know the strength that they had, and didn't understand the choices that God faced. But most of all, I think what most Christians fail to recognize about that original Christmas, the birth of Jesus, is the sacrifice that God made. His willingness to trust a young girl with his son, his willingness to place the destiny of the world in the hands of a few people from an unknown little hamlet, a family whose full names we don't even know apart from the one daughter. But that is God's style. You know, he doesn't go for the glamour places, not the palaces or the glitzes of life. He looks at who is most likely to fulfill his mission. Something about each person that he touches has a special ability to carry through with the mission. Whether you think of it as young Mary doing it, or Joseph recognizing that he is the father but not really the father, that they're all fulfilling the wish of God, or even the angels, Gabriel, the shepherds, the Magi, all of these people surrounding that original so-called Christmas nativity story. They were not people who had planned for it. The Magi saw the star. The shepherds saw and heard the angels. Joseph saw Gabriel in a dream. Mary met Gabriel in an encounter. And each one of them basically responded with a yes. Perhaps a little tentative at first. Perhaps a yes that was full of questions. I'm certain that if any of us was in the shoes of Mary or Joseph, that we would have a million questions rushing through our brains about the events. How do you explain them? How do you make sense out of them? How do you convince people and persuade them that this is not fake news? You and I live in a world that has specialized in fake news. Can you imagine if social media existed in the first century, when Jesus was born, when the shepherds met the angels, when Mary met the angel? This would have all been source for fake news or conspiracy theory. You see, God's love for this world plunged the depth of sacrifice and common sense. He did not choose Jerusalem or even directly Bethlehem. He got things started in unknown Nazareth. There's not a record of this town Nazareth anywhere until we meet the story of Jesus. Amazing. You don't have to come from some great palace or some highly recognized capital city, because God often uses the little things, the little people, the little towns, and through those unknown places and unknown people, God does great things. So now everybody knows Nazareth. Everyone who's ever been a Christian for 2,000 years, everybody knows Mary. We still don't know her parents. Everyone knows Joseph. Because the Lord was willing and daring enough to say, I trust some humans. Now, this Christmas, most of us are going to enjoy in the merry part of Christmas. We will greet one another, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. We will exchange presents. We will light up the trees. We will decorate our houses or the malls or whatever. But most importantly, I hope that in your heart you find time to meditate upon that first Christmas. This was not a merry time. If anything at all, it was an agony time. Think of the contrast. God's pain, God's agony become the source of our joy and our celebrations. So I say to you, have a Merry Christmas. But more importantly, I hope that you have a blessed Christmas. Because when God touched little Nazareth, little Mary, Joseph, and all those early people in the story, he was touching humanity. And this touch of God changed history, changed our destiny, guaranteed us redemption, guaranteed us eternal life, and everything else that comes with that. And so have a good time. Enjoy yourselves. Go to some special place. But find time to connect with the heart of God over the Christmas season. A heart filled with pain, a heart filled with sacrifice, a heart daring enough to say, I love you and I trust you to fulfill my mission. So God bless each one of you, and may that same God grant you a truly successful, a truly blessed and joyful New Year as well. So Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from me to each one of you out there listening to this little broadcast. God be with you.